What is going on, everyone? Welcome to 24/7 Football for a different video today. So following on from when we spoke to Newcastle Fans TV, I thought it'd be interesting to speak to different fan channels from different clubs, find out how they thought their season went so far, and what they think of the stuff going on around their club, little bits like that. So delighted to have Ross Chanley from Redmen TV with us today. Ross, how are you? All right, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, you?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. I'm brilliant. How are you finding isolating?
Difficult. If being completely honest, I'm still adapting to it. I'd much prefer to be in the office and be working. I find it really hard working from home. I've just tried not to procrastinate or get distracted by a TV or a PlayStation or the fridge. This time, like social distancing with humans, I've nailed that. But with fridge and still trying to get my head around that.
No, I've got the exact same problem, mate. It is hard. So, going to be speaking through obviously Liverpool's season. They've played some fantastic stuff. Also, what Redmen have been getting up to, what they've been trying to do during this period. So, Ross, just starting, how have Redmen been getting on since COVID-19? Obviously, most of society brought to a standstill, but for people like content creators, a bit of an opportunity as well.
It's an opportunity and a learning curve as well. I think, the way I've summed it up is like, and you'll know this as well, if a season's coming to an end and you're making content, you're mentally prepared for that, and then you get the transfer window, so you're making content about that, you're doing summaries of the season and all that stuff. This is very different in the sense of you can't prepare for it because you just had something taken away from you. So everything that we knew before and what we base our YouTube channel or website on, you're having to adapt to, do people want to talk about football? What about football is they want to talk about? So it's just been a learning curve for the past couple of weeks. So we've done stuff like interviews with ex-players, like Jose Enrique, Jimmy Traore, Martin Kelly, who's obviously still a Premier League footballer right now. Live quizzes, so trying to get the interaction up with people, make sure people are entertained, doing daily news shows. So it's just about doing different things and covering different topics. But it's also, we spoke about this before we started recording, about being sensitive to people as well. There is more important pressing issues, but it doesn't mean that a hobby isn't something something you like doesn't exist anymore. We've done a massive thing of people's mental health. There'll be people out there who've their only form of interaction is going to the football on the weekend. They've had that taken away from them. So stuff what you do and what we do. People that's a big deal to a lot of people. They can't go out and go and watch the football. They can't go see their mates, and they want to talk about it. I think it's just adapting to what the right level of talking about football is.
So Redmen chugging along, doing quite well as well. So the main reason you're here is to talk about Liverpool's season. We'll talk about the elephant in the room a little bit later on. Flying at the top of the Premier League, Ross. Pretty much guaranteed to win the Premier League. How do you sum up Liverpool's season so far? I mean, some of the football you've played has been unbelievable, it has to be said.
Some of it's been unbelievable, but some of it's been pretty poor as well. There's a lot of results. We just straight to 1-0 or a 2-1 or last minute goals, or lucky Liverpool. Depending on what team you support, we call it playing to the final whistle.
Liverpool.
yeah. Oh, Liverpool. Yeah. Depends what suits your agenda. If you don't suit Liverpool, then you don't include the Firmino handball that hit his arm or shoulder or offside or whatever it was. People are very selective over the history and what they want to remember. But yeah, no, really good football. Champions of the world. Getting to go to Qatar and watch that was absolutely amazing. It's just Liverpool fans, as you will know this. Sorry, some Liverpool fans, as you will know, on Twitter and social media, are just unbearable. Obviously, some Liverpool.
I think everyone's got them.
But I think Liverpool fans are some. I don't know if it's the bubble I'm in or kind of renowned for being dead annoying. So for Liverpool, it's been our last memory was we scraped the 2-win against Bournemouth. We got knocked out of the Champions League. We lost to Chelsea in the thing. So everyone's last memory Liverpool playing is kind of down. So I don't think, like I said before, you wait to the end of the season and you kind of reflect of what had been, and then because everything's been up in the air for the past 2-3 months, I think it's kind of hard to put it into context. But I made up with there's 25 points clear in the league. There's only yourselves that have probably done that in the history of the Premier League. Probably Man United as well in there as well. Actually, that have done that. And when you're doing so well, you don't want it to end. But I don't know if it makes you miss football a little bit more when your team's doing so well. But yeah, no, just fantastic football. You know, Salah and Mané's been on another level. He's dragged us through so many
Best
games.
footballer in the world.
His best football, yeah, no, yeah, absolutes. But I've followed Liverpool for quite a while now, and it's not so long ago we were under Roy Hodgson and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of Liverpool fans that jumped on it. You know, when Jurgen Klopp started under Brendan Rodgers, the 13-14 season, and it makes you appreciate it more. Like Salah and Mané, I could have named one of 8 players there, probably who's been one of our best players this season, or is it, what I consider a world class footballer. It's just really good position to be in.
What do you think? You mentioned Jurgen Klopp there and Roy Hodgson in the same sentence. What do you think Jurgen Klopp's brought to Liverpool? Because he seems like he's just got an undeniable connection with the fans.
Yeah, I'll throw it back to that West Brom draw, if you will, which a lot of people,
yeah.
A lot of people laugh at, and probably a lot of Liverpool fans did at the time on reflection. But if you go back and you think about it now, it's part of one of the reasons of having that connection with the fans. And we never had that under Hodge. In fact, probably most managers in fact, every manager that I've that's been at Liverpool since I supported them, going, actually, okay, it wasn't the best performances, but you guys helped us. You're part of what we do here. I think his character, his charisma, man management, probably, and it was just the Jurgen Klopp throwing out hugs. But I think he knows how to deal with people. As well as that, I think some of his morals and his stances on maybe political issues, maybe, or just where he comes from, and maybe his background is similar, a working class background, which resonates with Liverpool fans. He's a man of the people, if you will, and I think he appreciates what Liverpool is about. It's a very socialist city, a very socialist club, and I think he's a bit like that as well, which I think plays its part. And I think in equal measures, like, he's entertaining on the sidelines. A lot of people don't like that. Fair enough, but I'd rather see a manager be passionate than like a Roy Hodgson who's who was clueless, but he backs it up with results as well. He's won some trophies now, so I think he's got the merit on there to warrant screaming and shouting at fourth official when he wants to.
You talk about, he is a scary man, by the way. So you talk about you've been following Liverpool for a number of years now. This is just you, not obviously what other people think. But is this the best side that you have seen in your time as a Liverpool fan?
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything in my lifetime that comes close. Maybe the 08-09 when we had the likes of Torres, Alonso, Gerrard, that sort of team. But like I said before, you've arguably got 8 world-class, probably more world-class players in that Liverpool side, and some of them are the best in their position in the world. I know that's biased coming from me because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, but Alisson, at least one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Virgil van Dijk, one of the best centre-backs in the world. Trent, Robbo, Fabinho, Henderson, as much as people don't like him, the improvement in him has been amazing. And then the front three on top of that. Like, take your pick of, who's the best out of them lot. It's mad how much it's worked out now and how good they are together.
It must be a joy to watch that week in, week out. Talk about the title now.
Yeah.
Before we do, is this the most Liverpool thing you've ever seen? I mean, you've not won Premier League yet. It's finally the time. The Gerrard slip, little bits like that, and it's finally the time. And then somehow a pandemic happens, and maybe not. We'll take the title away for you, but we'll spoil it a little bit.
Potentially, yeah. There's definitely a Manchester United fan somewhere out in China who's stylish. Couldn't bear the thought of it happening. But I think either way, if you don't get it, it's null and void. Then yeah, like, devastated. But I think there's the attitude of we'll go again. We got to the Champions League final. I think we surprised most people. We didn't win it. We went again, and we won it. Became really close. Up against you guys last season. We should probably have won it. There's also the case of it's behind closed doors, whether that happens or not. Whether it'll feel a bit anticlimactic because you saw the scenes from when we won the Champions League and tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people out on the streets in Liverpool. Probably times that by 10. If the season carried on the way they're supposed to, people that would have celebrated this that won't get that moment. But of course, the obvious caveat is it's not safe and well to do so. So there are bigger issues behind it, and I think because it's a pandemic, because of the situation that we're in, I speak for myself here, just kind of saying I can kind of live with that. because it's not like, you know, we're not getting it for another whatever other reason might be. There's a world pandemic, so you know, we've got really no room to complain or go, actually it's not fair. It's just the way that things have turned out.
Should Liverpool be given the title? You know what the other fans are going to say, like it's not the same. Is it going to feel the same for you? I mean, you won the Champions League, you had the parade, like you said, but are you still going to be able to enjoy it? Because I'll just say, if it was me, I'd still be absolutely buzzing.
I would also know it was absolutely buzzing, and when the time is right and when it's safe to go and do so, that parade will still happen, in my opinion. Or, you know, when we can all go back to the football grounds, and, you know, the fans return for the first time, we can celebrate with the fans. It will just build up and build up and build up. You know, it won't be the same as that it's not immediately after, or, you know, as it should be when it was planned. But, you know, I'll still be buzzing. I still, you know, we haven't won the league in my lifetime. You know, I want to
That's
see
a long
that.
time.
Yeah, right. That's right. I want to see that. You know, I don't really care how much it happens. Do they say giving the title? I'm not. Yeah, no. Give us a title. You know, I'm on the fence on that one, because I don't want to be given it. I want to have it on merit. The season isn't finished, therefore it's not ours. It's not ours to lose. But, you know, if they do it, then, you know, if they null and void the season, there's only Liverpool that's going to qualify for the Champions League next season. So I'm fine with that as well.
I mean, we could still catch you, so just be careful. If it did come back,
that's what I mean. Anything,
mate, it's done. It's done. We weren't going to come back.
No, that's what I mean. No, the chances of that happening are very, very, very slim. But it's you know, we played 2 more games than sound. You know, it would be done. So there'd be no arguments then. In terms, I suppose you're going to ask me, you know, should they null and void the league? Was that one of you?
No, it wasn't. Well, obviously, Ross, we're not in a position to say should they null and void the league. That's why I try and avoid asking questions like that, because, you know, we're not scientists, we're not doctors, we just don't know.
No,
but I was never going to put you in that position.
The thing is with that is, you see headlines or you see stories on Twitter or someone giving their opinion. Their opinion always comes with an agenda. So, you know, Karen Brady, null and void it. Well, you're going to say that because you're about to be relegated. Do you know what I mean?
Because they've been awful this season.
Yeah, and again, you know, we're supposed to about Liverpool fans on Twitter before. You know, every club has you know, a portion of a fan base that are knobheads on Twitter, and you see like Sky Sports tweet something that I think they're going to plan to resume it. You know, if it's safe and well to go and do so in a couple of months' time, and it's like everyone's like, oh, the darlings Liverpool. It's like, it's not just about Liverpool. A lot of people's agenda isn't about the safety and well-being of people. It's about stopping Liverpool getting that league title. And for me, like, Liverpool's the easy bit. Liverpool's, like you said it yourself, that the title's more or less done. What about down the bottom of the league, you know, with the West Ham and the Norwich, or those teams that, you know, Bournemouth, you know, they're close to relegation, but they're not safe. There's people that are in the bottom 3 that could get out the bottom 3. Well, what do you do with those guys? Or, you know, Leeds, West Brom, you know, on the cusp of promotion, take that away from them. Like, I'd like it to return if it's safe to do so, for the sake of other clubs. Liverpool are in the club that qualify for Europe next season. Sound?
We saw another thing that came out of this as well was the decision from Liverpool to furlough staff. Obviously, reverse that decision. What were your thoughts at the time? Because it received a lot of negative criticism, and one thing that I did say on this channel was that it takes, you know, it takes big people to recognise they made a mistake, and they did reverse it. But how did you feel at the time when that happened?
Confused. I think was my first reaction. You know, why would they go and do that? You know, you see all the figures and how big Club Liverpool is financially. Do they need to go and do that? And there's loads of other things of, like, you know, I said before, winning the Champions League, the money comes with that, the TV rights up until that point Liverpool will have got for winning the World Cup. The fact that we didn't buy anyone in the summer last season, you're thinking, you know, there's loads of money, you know, that could be saved there. But there's two sides to it. You know, the government have offered that thing there. I'm not saying it's right, because I don't agree with it. And I mentioned the socialist values of this city and the club, and the backlash. Most of the backlash was from Liverpool fans, which is why they stopped it and turned it around. You know, there's obviously fans of other clubs jumping on the back of it as well. You know, and rightly so. I don't disagree with that. But, you know, again, you know, we studied football business together. It's still a business, and because everything was so up in the air, and again, I'm not excusing it. If, you know, there's a thing there for them to use, and they're uncertain about their future. You think about, if it was cancelled, the amount of money that they lose for TV revenue, or the ticket sales or match day sales for, whether it's food, drink, whatever else that they're losing out on, but they're still paying stars £200,000, £150,000 a week. It just, a part of me can kind of understand it to a small degree, but I don't necessarily agree with it. It's still business at the end of the day. And, you're paying someone £200,000 a week. Surely, someone who's getting 30 grand or less for a year should be sound. So, I'm glad they reversed the decision. I think it was the right thing to do. Like you said, they've made a mistake, and I think it's kind of put pressure on other clubs. The other thing that didn't help on the same day, Liverpool announced that because they had a discussion in the Premier League meeting. I think someone was going to open up and say this is what Liverpool are planning to do, but on the same day, Man City came out and said we're not going to do that, which made Liverpool even worse. I think Manchester United did the same thing, and maybe Everton. So you're thinking, Christ, you made us look like dickheads here at the same time. But we can't all be backed by a state, George. So
I mean, mate, it's good. It is good. I can't deny that. Newcastle fans are going to feel the same way as well. I do agree with what you're saying. It is a business. That's the way that they looked at it. I didn't agree with it, but you can see why they made that decision. But it was a domino effect. I think Tottenham, on the back of that, they said they reversed their decision. Did Bournemouth reverse their decision as well? I think they might.
Bournemouth and Norwich with the other clubs, weren't they? But it's different. It's different for the likes of Bournemouth and Norwich. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
their wages will be a lot lower than a lot of smaller clubs, but also they're not going to get the TV revenue from European football or probably the Premier League. Because 2 months ago, if you watched Bournemouth v Norwich, you think, "Oh, I'll give that a."
Mate, I'd kill for one of
exactly. Yeah, in 2 months' time, like all over
that. In terms of next season, then Ross, a lot of talk about Timo Werner from Leipzig, 52 million release clause. Thoughts on him, and is it healthy competition for Firmino?
Yeah, well, I think the front three entirely. I'd absolutely love him. We've covered him so many times and done stat shows, and like every time there's a news show, we've it's Timo Werner talk. But I think you talk about his versatility, his experience, his age, and stuff like that. I think he just ticks every box. Klopp likes versatile players, and there's been loads of talk of if he comes in, does like one of the front three go? They don't need to go for me. You talk about the amount of football Liverpool played. Champions League football, the two domestic cups, the Premier League, Man City are in the same boat. To expect Mané, Salah and Firmino to play 3 games a week potentially and kind of keep those standards, I think you get more out of them. If 3 games a week, Firmino, have a rest on Wednesday, mate. Timo Werner is going to play. Chuck him in there. I think you get a lot more out of them. You prevent injuries because of tired legs and tired muscles and stuff like that. So, on his goal scoring record, I think he offers something a bit different. Firmino's not a natural goal scorer, but he brings so much to that Liverpool team. I think, there's loads of comparisons on Twitter about number 9 and stuff like that, and like people like calling Firmino a fraud or whatever like that. But like he makes Mané and Salah work because of what he does off the ball and assist wise. So Timo Werner, I'm all over that, and even for the money as well. I think they got till a certain date. It might even be this month or next month to kind of trigger that release clause before they have to go and do it. Maybe whether that changes with the COVID-19 stuff and they move things like that along, I don't know. But someone will be all over. Like the other person you could buy is like an Mbappe or a Sancho, but you're paying 2, 3, 4 times the price for someone like that who's not going to start every game. But also I think you increase the drop off. It's substitutes as well. Like I love Divock Origi. Like he's great.
He's a god, isn't he?
But he is. But when he comes on, like he plays out wide on the left, which isn't his position, which isn't fair on him. But he doesn't have the same impact as Sadio Mané. But he's not going to because Sadio Mané's world class. Same when he plays up the middle. Yeah, he's better, but he's not Bobby Firmino. Or he's not as prolific. He finds game time hard to come by, but he can't get any rhythm because he doesn't play week in, week out. I think Timo Werner would up that. Equally, Shaqiri doesn't ever seem to be fit. If he leaves in the summer or whenever the transfer window is, you've got money there that you can go and put towards a Timo Werner, so we'll be sound with that as well.
One thing that in terms of potential outgoing is I don't think it'll happen, but in this season, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher spoke a lot about Mo Salah. Yeah. Apparently, the Liverpool fans don't chant his name as much anymore, and Is Mané
I went to that thing on Sky when he said that.
Yeah.
I was sat because he had a load of fan TV things, and he said, "Oh, Salah will leave in the summer," and I think he said Man United will win a league title before Liverpool and all that stuff. Salah's loved by Liverpool fans of like literally every age. I think it's different, and I think the narrative comes from his first season when he scored all those goals. There's people that criticise him. I think he's got a little bit of criticism because of his finishing or being selfish, and I think we played Burnley towards the beginning of the season, and I think Mané went off, but he kicked off because Salah.
Fuming, yeah.
Fuming was like, European champions, top of the league, whatever. We were flying. We were 3-0 up at the time. And our biggest problem at our football club was one of our forwards has gone off because we're not 4-0 up. You're thinking of the issues to have at your club, right? Do you know what I mean? In the context of things, it's not a big issue. But because Salah's such a global star on and off the field, I think he gets a lot of attention and things to talk about. Gary Neville, in fact, I know this for a fact, Gary Neville and others say stuff on purpose to put pressure onto other people because they've got a massive platform to go and do it. Yeah. I think that's kind of what he was getting at. Gary Neville's got no idea what Mo Salah's future is or what Liverpool fans think of Mo Salah without the insight. He's a Man United fan. He might see things on social media and take that as gospel, but he got the golden boot in his first year. He got a joint golden boot with Salah and Mané last season. Okay, he's not hit the heights he did in his first season, but when you got 2 or 3 players marking Mo Salah, he's had to adapt his game as well. I think his hold-up play's got a lot better in holding the ball and bringing others into play. Sadio Mane's probably improved because you put 3 people on Mo Salah, you can't have 3 people on Sadio Mané at the same time, can you? So, he's improved other people's game in the squad as well.
Well, I think that just about sums up Liverpool's season and what can happen in the summer as well. You think another Premier League title next season, Ross?
It all depends. I think it's quite funny. I mentioned the transfer window before and what happens, and the amount of the loss that clubs have made, and whether there's a price drop off in transfers or wages or stuff like that. Whether people are going to risk not buying anyone because if the pandemic kicks off in 2-3 months' time. Take Man United for instance. If they say 100 million euros, what it is for Jadon Sancho. Well, in 2 months' time, if this kicks off again, they just spent £100 million on someone, or euros, and there's another 2-3 month break. Are people going to take that financial gamble of wanting to do it? I think Liverpool are in a really good position in the sense of because we're so far ahead, and there's probably only, I think Adam Lallana's contract runs out, Lovren and Shaqiri might be the other ones that go. We don't necessarily, the pressure's not on us to go and buy players, whereas I think, people like yourselves, I think David Silva's leaving at the end of the season, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
You still haven't replaced Company. You've got a lot of, an aging squad, if you will. So like you need players to kind of bridge that gap between us, don't you? So I think the pressure's on other people. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the transfer window and who gambles first and who does what. But if no one buys anyone, let's go again. I'm all right with that. Just go and wipe the forward of the league again. But I think the mentality that we've got, I think that's the other thing that Jurgen Klopp's brought, just to answer your first question again, is that mentality and breeding that mentality and telling people and improving players. I know he's bought, but that was another debate. I think Carragher, wasn't it? He doesn't buy world class players. He turns them into it. I think it's probably a bit of both. I think there's people, Van Dijk, Mané, they've always been good players, but taking them to the next level, I think we can do that. We've got some good youngsters as well. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Neco Williams. I think we're sound.
Do you think Jurgen Klopp will ever leave on his own accord? You can't say probably he'll never get sacked, but do you think he'll ever leave for another club? I mean, he loves it at Liverpool.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, and I think he always maintained that he was going to have a sabbatical, or when his contract ran out, he was going to leave, but he extended that. Might have a couple of months ago, maybe before the turn of the new year, which kind of surprised everyone. Everyone was kind of made up for. I think it was the same day that Steven Gerrard extended his contract. I think it's to 2024. So it depends how it goes. If we go on a dominant run and we win the Premier League for the next 2-3 seasons, or we're dominating Europe or anything like that, then why would he go? But I don't understand it because I can't imagine the amount of work that goes into being a football manager. Probably at any level, never mind the top level and how relentless it is, and how tiring it is. It's not just the 90 minutes on a Saturday afternoon, is it? It must be constantly day and night. So if he wants a break, then sound. He did it at Dortmund. He needed a break. Liverpool came in, he took it. The only job I can probably see him not leaving Liverpool for, but I think if his time's done, is probably the German job. I think he's more than capable of doing that. But I think, people always had him down as the person that got to finals and lost. But I think he's set himself a new standard by winning, trophies at Liverpool. But the people never look at the team. So that he got to the final of the Champions League when we probably shouldn't have done. And we got battered in that final because the goalkeeper threw the ball.
You'd even say even the Europa League as well.
It's the same Europa League. I think we played you in the Carabao Cup or whatever it was called back in the day. I think you beat us on penalties. That team that we had.
Yeah,
it's disgusting, mate. We should never have got there. So, and same as Dortmund, you had a team that was went up against Bayern Munich and all these powerhouses in Europe and stuff like that. He lost to the final, but he never gets credit for taking a below average team or an average team even up against world class teams.
And he blew Real Madrid out the water.
Exactly, and getting as far as he did. So it's all right having the agenda of he only loses finals, but look at the teams that he had and who he was up against. His chances were, he's always the underdog, wasn't he? So I think that's changed now. I think being champions of Europe and champions of the world, possibly champions of England at the same time. It's a good place to be.
Well, Ross, no one's won a trophy in England except for Man City in 490 days. I think it is something like that, which is mad.
Is it?
Yeah, it might be 390 or 490. It's one of those. I think the last one was Chelsea. Because we've won 2 Community Shields.
Did you not play the final of the Carabao Cup?
We've won the last, 2, 3 Carabao?
Has it been played this season?
It has been played this season, yeah, we won.
Yeah, so it's not been that long, is it? That's a trophy.
No, that's not. No, I mean, apart from Man City, no other team has won a trophy in England. Well, elite trophy in England in 390 days, something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, which is, it'll be you eventually, don't worry.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the Champions League than the Carabao.
Well, like yourselves, it would have been us this season, but I suppose we'll probably never find out.
God no, might not be you next season either.
Exactly. Ross, it's been a pleasure to have you on, mate. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come and speak to us. If you do want to go and check out Redmen TV, you've probably already heard of them, but all their links will be in the description below. And if there is any other fan channels or anyone else from a club that wants to come and speak to us about their season, we're going to be trying getting around a few people while we've all got free time anyway. So I'll leave the email for us in the description below as well. But thank you for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video as well. Like I said, go and check out Redmen TV. I'm Ross. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.